couches in you.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm old. Oh, it's difficult.
Oh, hi. Hilarious. How is everybody?
Hi, guys.
Yeah!
Standing room only.
I feel like you guys can sit right here if you want to have a seat down there.
No one will come up here.
So thank you both for taking some time and talking to us today. So let's just get started. How did you guys get involved in the film Halloween?
Well, which one for Danielle? How'd you get involved, Danielle?
Well, I was going Rob.
Which one? The start of her career or the ones...
I wanted to include you both, so we'll go Rob Zombie and then we'll circle back to 4 for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob Zombie. Actually, I was at, wow, this is really loud. I was at a convention in Boston, and a fan came up to me. I'm sure you've heard the story 800 times.
No, I have not.
Really?
I'm literally just thinking that. I'm like, I have not heard this story.
A fan came up to me, this woman, and she said to me, I heard you're going to be in the new Halloween. And I was like, there's a new Halloween? And she said, yeah, Rob Zombie's directing it. I was like, oh shit, that sounds awesome.
Did you know who Rob Zombie was?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Dope.
And
Great.
I'm old, bitch.
I didn't.
I'm old. And I said, wow, I haven't heard it. She's like, yeah, you're going to be Lori.
What the fuck?
I was like, I don't know if that's true. That seems like a weird rumor. But it made me go home and call my manager and say, they're doing a movie, another Halloween that Rob Zombie's directing, and I want to be involved in it. So she called them and they said, nope. Rob doesn't want anybody from any of the other Halloweens in the movie. So we coerced casting to just audition me. So Rob did not know that I was coming into audition.
So what the fuck is up with that? With like people not wanting the OG cast members in the new Halloween movie?
Maybe he just thought it was weird. I don't know. But then when I got in there,
I feel like fans would love to see that shit.
They don't. They just like don't seem
Sorry,
to
I
get it
curse
on
a
the
lot.
other side. No, I do too. I just think they're like marketed to the different generation, and they really don't realize like we're the ones that are going to see these movies. They don't really get it.
Yeah.
So I went in and I just auditioned for it, and I think I said something super naughty. Shocker, right? Have you guys been listening to our podcast? Talk scary to me? Okay, so this is not a shocker for you. So they had to ask me in the room if I was okay with nudity. And I said, come on, who doesn't want to see Jamie Lloyd's tits? I do. So I think that won Rob over. And he was like, oh God, all right, I have to give it to her. I mean, if Annie wasn't feisty, I wouldn't have said anything like that. But because the character was feisty, it was like, okay, cool. You know, it kind of fit with the character. And that was the end of it. And then we talked everybody into it, and then that was it.
Wow. How cool. That's amazing.
Strong-armed them, I did.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like if you're in an audition room and you know, an actress says something like that, yeah, that's pretty hard to fucking pass up, for sure. Mine was, I guess, as difficult as yours was. Well, first, Rob doesn't like to meet, like, actors, so he goes off of self-tapes. So mine, which I found out, was the first tape that he ever watched, and he was like, I want that girl. But it was fighting with the company, with Dimension and Weinstein's, to get me cast.
He would not take it. He really wanted Scout. He didn't want anybody else.
Dude, I went in like 7 times. And that shit's brutal. I mean, like, going in and auditioning, your fucking anxiety, and you're like, want the job so bad, and you just have to, like, prove yourself. I had to do a testing with her, which was a private, like, just one-on-one of, like, us
reading scenes in an office, right?
Box, like, room, just, like, trying to get this gig. And I remember I had Uggs on. Like, I looked so
little.
weird. It was so weird. And then I had to go do another screen test with both the girls, and everybody was cast. They were already doing like makeup tests and all that stuff. And I remember my last thing, I walked into this room and there was this wall of every cast member in every role, and then my photo was just in the middle, and I hadn't gotten it yet. And I just remember seeing that, and it was so surreal to me. And it was the first time I ever met Rob, and I was sitting kind of on a sofa like this. And I just look up and I see like these shoes coming towards me and these like big old like combat boots.
I think I was there for this.
Yeah, this is your thing. And like flared pants, and I just looked up and I just like punk rock belt, like ripped t-shirt, and then like hair, just fucking hair. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I was like, this is incredible. And I met Rob Zombie, and I didn't know of Rob. The only thing that I knew of, I had filmed an episode like a month prior, and I watched Devil's Rejects in the trailer. And I remember watching this movie, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking work with this director. Like, this guy is so cool. And then, sure enough, it worked out.
Manifested it.
Yeah, man, it was so cool. But a funny story, and then we'll get into your. But I remember, because I didn't know anything about him, I turned 18 on the set, and Rob came up to me, and he was like so shy, and he like had his hands behind his back, and he was like, so I know you don't like listen to my music, but happy birthday. And it was White Zombie all up until like his, and he just gave me all his CDs, and I was like a fan ever since. That was more than you guys asked for, but we like to chat if you don't know this.
What type of director is Rob? Is he one that will allow you input, or is it straight by what he wants?
No, he lets you do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
He completely encourages
like
creativity.
finger a bagel. So
he wants
he lets
you
you
to-
fucking do whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want.
And it's like vice versa, man.
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
it's a give, receive.
And he, because I remember him saying to me, I don't know how 17-year-olds talk.
Yeah.
So just say whatever. And you're like, what does that mean? What do you want me to say? I don't know what to say.
Well, that's what was so cool, because I was 17, so it was interesting, because you guys were older, so it was nice to like, vibe off with you guys, and
For
you guys
sure.
vibe off with me. Yeah, it's cool.
Now, Scott, were you a Halloween fan? Did you know the franchise, its history?
So no, I didn't know like how big Halloween was. I knew that I was terrified of the fucking mask because my uncle would put it on and like fucking like scare me all the time. So I knew of Michael Myers, but I didn't know, like, I had watched the original with my mom a long time ago. Like, I grew up in a mortuary, so horror movies were like a massive thing in my house. But I remember watching it, but I didn't know like the fan base behind it and like
I did.
the love. I know, yeah. Well, I remember I watched her Halloween, and I didn't know that was you when I was fucking filming with you. And I remember like your Halloween is like one of my favorites, and so I was like, oh my god, Danielle's in the clown. She's the clown. I was like, she wore the clown thing, and I just remember when I figured that out.
clown thing.
I remember that was
love
like
it.
my thing that I said. I was 17. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. Look at all these people. And then when I found out Brad Dourif is Chucky, and that's like my favorite shit, I didn't know that until the second movie at the second premiere. And I brought all I know, dude. I was like, I'm in a candy shop, and I didn't even know it. It was so cool.
So, Danielle, obviously you knew about Halloween. What did it feel like to be back in the franchise for you?
It was like going back to summer camp, I mean, it had been a long time. I mean, it had been 20 years, which is crazy. But it just felt like home. I remember being in the car with Tyler in the front seat, and there's this thing that they use that it's called Streaks and Tips. It's like an aerosol spray that's supposed to make your clothes look dirty, and there's a very specific smell to it, and you can smell it, right? And I just immediately was transported back to when I was a child. But then I remember telling Scout, like, I'm passing the torch, dude. Like, this is all you now. This is your gig now. Hey, want to do conventions? They're really fun. And she was like, what's that?
What is that?
Yeah, 10 years later, 15 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No, age us right now, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So, Danielle, talk about some of the differences filming from Halloween 4 and 5 to this one. I mean, the tone is completely different, and the Michael Myers is completely different. Talk about working with, Halloween 4 and then with Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, so when you're a kid, everything is fun. And as an adult, looking back, I cannot even believe the stuff that they had me do. I mean, it's so dangerous that shit would never fly nowadays. But it was the 80s, Remember, like, running in, like, the scenes where in 5 where I'm running in front of the car and, like, my mom was on the side, like, yeah, look at her go, It's like, oh, my God. I could fucking die. And when you watch it back, you can see, like, there are moments where, and it's some are me, some is my double, but I did the same stuff my double did, and that car get so close to almost hitting me, and it was dark in the middle of the night and lots of smoke, and now I don't think I could do it because I had to remember, like, go to the left, then to the right, then around that tree, then back around that tree, and now I'm like, wait, what? Which way am I going? Oh my God. But as a kid, you're like, this is awesome, and you just do it. So it was fun. It was obviously a lot of work, but I was treated like an adult, I mean, and in retrospect, that probably wasn't the best thing. But when I did, Scouts Halloweens, they were more difficult because Michael got me.
Yeah.
I mean, he never got me as a kid. It was always me just running from him. So this was a little bit more difficult, and Tyler's such a big dude. I remember saying to him, like, you better put some pads on, and he was like, it's like, no, seriously, like, if I'm the sheriff's daughter, I'm gonna try to whoop your ass. So I had these gigantic handprints on my arm. It took up my whole bicep, just big old Tyler-made handprints, and we went for it. But even a lot of that was improvised. Yeah, I mean, I love to tell the story where Annie gets out the front door, and that was solely because I was supposed to run into the kitchen and grab the knife, and then he was supposed to grab me, throw me on the table, and stab me the way he did to what's her name? Was it Maya? Yeah, was her character name Maya? Maya. The way he did to Maya in the second one was supposed to be Annie in the first one. But I made it out the front door because I was going to the kitchen, and Rob likes to hide cameras in random places, which I never knew. So I would like round a corner and try to hide out of frame, and then I would look to my left, and there's like a camera in the closet, and you're like, whoa,
BJ be like, hey.
I didn't know you were standing there. So I was supposed to go to the kitchen, and then I just passed the front door, and I was like, I'm just going to go out the front door. And then I slammed the door, and Tyler hadn't made it out the door. Because why would I go into the kitchen if there's a front door right there? So we ended up using that in the movie, and that was the piece in the trailer and all that, which was cool. And then Tyler could not pick me up from the ground because my boots kept slipping off. And because I wasn't letting him get me. He was supposed to pick me up and throw me over his shoulder, but he had the knife and the mask, and my boot kept coming off. And he was like, God damn. I was like, sorry, I'm not going to make it easy for you. So he just was like, fuck it, and he just started dragging me literally out of the room.
I can see that because, I challenge him as well. So I can see him getting fucking frustrated.
He was getting so irritated.
But it's good. I mean, that's real. What you would fucking do
of course.
If that was to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I hate when I see people go upstairs.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Why would you go up the stairs when there's an exit?
Yeah.
Like a big old sign that says exit.
It's true. It drives me nuts. I remember I was watching Jason, one of the Friday the 13th with Kane, and there's a scene where she's, I forget which one it was, the seventh one, I think it is. And she had crashed the car, and she was trying to open up her door, and she's like banging on the driver's side door, and trying to open it, but the passenger window is wide open.
Oh my God.
It's like, climb out the window. Climb out the passenger window, bitch. What the hell's going on here? Climb out the window. So that's the stuff that I see when I watch a movie, and I don't ever want to be that actress where you're saying that about. So we try to make it as realistic as possible, and Rob really accommodates that.
Dude, that's like my favorite scene in that movie is like you coming out the door screaming, and then it closes, and it's just like silent.
That was so creepy. And Rob was like, put a camera across the street. That's great. Let's just do that.
It's so good.
It's authentic.
It just also freaks you out because like when I don't know, I'm a weirdo. When I like drive up like a quiet neighborhood, sometimes I'm like, imagine like if there's something really fucking bad going on in one of these houses and we just don't know, and it's so quiet. It literally gave me chills.
Love it.
Did Rob and you guys focus at all on the original, or did you guys try to stay?
No, not at all.
Nope,
never came up.
That was the first thing. Well, like, when I got cast, I was homeschooled, so I never really went to school, but a lot of people were like bad-mouthing me before I had even done anything. It was like it hit the media and people just started talking, and a lot of people didn't agree, and it was just, and it
wouldn't have wanted anybody in that role, though.
Yeah, no, totally. I finally, it took me a lot of years to understand that, but so when Rob came to me, he was just like, don't listen to them. I don't want it like how Jamie Lee Curtis did. I cast you for a reason. I want your Lori. Let's just like, it's a different era. Let's just like do it our way, So it was really nice that he said that.
So I know it's acting, and I know Tyler, you guys are all close, but when it's in full gear and he's full ready to go and you're on set, is there a little bit of fear?
Big old teddy bear. It's not fear, like we're not afraid, but there's an adrenaline rush that your body goes through that is real. You know, you're working yourself up to hyperventilating, and this movie I just finished this last week. This guy was smoking a cigarette in the scene, and this other actress was working with me, and she had to be like hyperventilating because he pulls a gun on her. And I looked at, she's new, and I looked at her and I said, don't make yourself pass out. Don't do that. Don't hyperventilate like that because you're going to hit the floor. But you just are trying to act, and your body just has to go through that process. So it's not really fear, but there's definitely some kind of effed up adrenaline dump that's sometimes really hard to shake.
Yeah, I mean, when we were doing the second one, I mean, you're an actor, so it takes you a bit to get to like that place. It's sort of real, you know, when you're putting your body through that. There was the scene where Danielle is covered in blood and, you know, she dies in my arm. We'd gotten so close, you know, she was like an older sister, you know, thing to me. So I remember being in that scene, and Rob let it go on forever. And she was sitting there. It felt like 5 minutes. I was just holding her. She was like dead in my arms. And it felt, for me, I lost myself, and it felt like I was like just holding Danielle, and like I like lost her. Like even just talking about it kind of makes me a little like emotional. And I remember I was shaking, and I couldn't get out of it. And when he yelled cut, I just ran out of the house. I ran out of the house, and I was like, I couldn't breathe, and poor thing, I just left her on the floor. But I was just like,
I'm used to it.
I was like, I couldn't get out of it. And I remember I ran to Tyler, and I looked at him, and I was just like, this is so hard, and I like couldn't talk, and he was just like, looked at me, and he was like, I need a van out of here. He's like, I can't deal with this. But it like took me out of it. But sometimes you lose yourself.
I asked Brad actually when Brad Dourif was going to go to the scene where he finds Annie, and I said to him, do you want to see me? Do you want to see me what I looked like in there? And he said, I can't. Yeah. No, I don't want to see it. And he's like, I have daughters. I can't, Danielle. And I was like, okay. I thought it would help, but he didn't even need to see anything to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Brad Dourif, so.
Yeah.
So I found out talking to Judy today that Ted White, her Jason, did not want to see anybody, any actors. He didn't speak to them, talk to them. I guess method actor type way of being Jason. What was Tyler like? Was he like that?
No. No. He wasn't like brooding. No.
Dude, Tyler and I had connecting trailers, and I loved to fuck with him because the walls, you can hear everything. So I'd be like, in our connecting were the toilets. So every time he was in there, I would like be banging on and be like, are you pooping? What are you doing in there? Like, what are you doing? I think there's videos, YouTube videos of me going, hey, Tyler. And he'd be like, yeah? I'd be like, what are you doing?
These movies are so intense.
Like, so fun.
To be method and do these would just be miserable.
Dude, I've worked with method actors, and I'm like,
I don't get
has
it.
to be miserable.
Horrible. I don't want to live in that world, man. No thanks.
So Danielle, obvious question. Dr. Sam Loomis.
Yes.
Talk about what it was like working with him.
It was great. I mean, I was a kid, so it's not like we had long, in-depth conversations, but I know. And he always smelled like bourbon. I always tell this funny story about, it's a scene where he's like, I don't know if it's like, Jamie, tell me what you know, like in 5, I think, and you see me make this like weird face, and it's because he's, I was like, what is that? My eyes are burning. But you know, he was really kind, and I rewatched Halloween 5 not too long ago, and it was really fucked up. Like what Loomis was doing to Jamie was horrible. I never thought about it like that before. Maybe I hadn't really watched the whole thing through as an adult. I was like, that's not okay. He was using me and, abusing me. It was horrible. Anyway, so yeah, he was lovely though. I just have this little story about Donald so I was in what they call like a triple banger, and it sounds horrible to say, but Scout and Tyler were in a double banger. I was in a triple banger because we had school, so it's basically a trailer that has 3 rooms. So it was me and then it was, I don't remember the guy that played Billy, I think, and then we had like our school room. And of course Donald had like the 40-foot Winnebago. And I'd never even seen one of those. And he was there the first week of filming, and then he wrapped. And then I had like 3 more weeks to go. And they were going to return the trailer, and he told them not to, and to put me in it because I was the star of the movie.
Yeah.
So I got to stay in the trailer, and I was like, oh my God, it has a bed, it had a fridge and a microwave, and I was just so excited to like make my macaroni and cheese and call it a day. So that was really lovely of him.
That is so sweet.
Nice,
Did
right?
he pay for it?
Doubtful. No.
The company's like, yeah, okay, great. We'll keep this for 3 weeks.
I know.
Now, do you think at the time that your Halloween came out that Michael Myers needed a little bit more of an edge to him as opposed to the John Carpenter style Michael Myers?
I think they seem very similar to me. I mean, I think it started to lose its way right around Halloween 5. Well, maybe 3. And then 4 sort of revamped, and then 5 kind of started to, 5 is a good movie, but it's as a standalone, not necessarily following Halloween 4. Halloween 4 felt really, really in the vein of the style and that era, and still keeping true to the story, and I really liked 4. And then after that, it just went to shit. And then it came back. I think
Yeah, I was like,
Rob.
whoa,
Yes, Rob revamped it. I always say, if you like Rob Zombie movies, you're going to love it. If you don't like Rob Zombie, it's not going to be your thing.
Did you ever watch 6 to finish the Jamie?
I saw a little bit of it. My friend JC played me. I love Paul Rudd, but I just wasn't. I tried to watch it not too long ago too on TV. It's not bad. I just didn't care for what they were doing with my character.
Yeah, they
it was
did a
weird.
producer's cut, which made it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It made more sense, but it just.
The original script was different from what I remember than what they started doing to it. And then I just never understood. I was like, wait, she's having Michael Myers' baby? I'm so confused. Like, incest? What's going on? This is weird. Then dying like that, and I don't know. It was just not for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's not good. Scout,
Yes.
you were relatively a young actor at this time.
Yes.
Talk about what it's like going on screen with, these well-accomplished actors, and did you learn from them while working with them?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was constantly learning. I mean, the stories I can tell you. I mean, Malcolm McDowell, like. I had the biggest crush on Malcolm while filming, but like hearing his stuff, and then Brad, and then Danielle. I mean, I was just like kind of taking it all in as a young age, and this whole genre was like so new to me, at least like with acting, and I'd been a fan of it, so it was kind of really nice to come in as a fan of these kind of movies and then be in them. But I definitely was learning. I mean, I looked up to all these actors for sure.
Did you guys know that Rob was going to go for sort of a more art house film for Halloween 2 going into it, or was he trying to do art house?
Is that what they're calling it?
Is that what they call it?
That's what several sites I've heard call it, but I'm not sure what to call it, to be honest. It's a different tone than the first one.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of it as far as holding up to the first one?
Well, okay, it is definitely different. I mean, I feel like the first one is, the beginning stuff is my favorite. It's literally my favorite. Dag and all that shit is my favorite part of the entire movie. I mean, that's what I love so much. Like my dad, he was a coroner as well, so I would always like to, I looked at his cases, and Danielle and I both relate, and like we love like this kind of like crime stuff, and why the person did it, who the person was, well, how did that person become that person? And so it kind of was like that world, which I loved. I mean, Jason has it. It's like you kind of have that backstory, and Michael never really had that much detail, and I thought it was really interesting and cool.
I think with the second one, I think, didn't Rob not want to come back for another one, and then he decided to the last minute, and I think he sort of threw a couple different ideas together and then kept trying to figure it out as he was going along. Like, I came back twice after I was wrapped to do pickup scenes that we really weren't sure exactly what was going on. He would just sort of throw you into things. So it seemed like three different, to me when I watch it, it seems like three different stories all at once.
Well, I also think like, you know, they were fighting, Rob and Weinstein's, and I feel like he almost quit a couple of times, so I feel like there's a little bit more of a fuck you to the Weinstein's
for
in
sure.
there. And I mean, as an actor being there the whole entire time, it was really strange because there were so many scenes that were being added and people were coming back and they were like, oh yeah, but we're going to throw that in when we, you know, you remember that scene that we did last week? We're going to just toss that in there and then you're going to go to this scene. I'm like, well, but my energy doesn't match what we're doing. It was like a roller coaster. It was like the biggest roller coaster for sure for Lori. But a lot of that had to do with adding stuff during the shoot and all of that vibe. But it was interesting. I love the beginning of it until she like wakes up and there's bits and pieces that I like.
I like all of the family stuff. All of that stuff seemed really solid. It was the other horse and all.
Horse?
Yeah, that stuff was like, wait, what? And you said that just showed up on set, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember we were trying to.
It wasn't in the script, right?
No. I remember when a horse and Abigail Breslin, I don't know if you know who that was, she was doing Zombieland right down the street, and she came over, because we're friends, she came over, and then I just remember seeing this fucking horse walking in, and I was in my nightgown, I was in a white nightgown, and I just remember seeing this horse come, and it was the first time I saw the horse. And I was like, why is there a white horse in this hospital right now? I was like, what is happening? And then they told me about the horse. I was like, oh, what? I was like, okay.
Just roll with it.
Here we go, man. Yeah, like Rob, he asked me to finger the bagel in the first one. So it was kind of like, okay, there's a horse. Okay, there's a horse. I'm going with it, man.
I've talked to a few people that have been in other Rob Zombie films, like Bill Moseley and whatnot.
Bill.
And he had one scene that was really, really hard for him. Do you guys have any scenes from either one or two that were just super hard to get through?
That one that I just told you about was pretty brutal. I think any of the stunts, you know, I love doing stunts. I have like a thing, like now probably not anymore because I'm getting older.
No.
I know, and now I'm listening to Danielle because my knees are hurting, my body's aching, I get it. But I remember when I was younger, like when they call in like a stunt girl to like fall down some stairs or fall into a pit, I'm like, I want to do my own stunt. So I remember
You do not
when
want to fall downstairs.
Huh?
You do not want to fall downstairs.
Not anymore. Well, kind of.
No.
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. It's just like always been appealing for me. So half the time Rob would show me, he'd be like, okay, I'm going to have your stunt girl do it, and then you're going to do it not as intense. And then I'd be like, well, I'm going to beat this girl. I'm going to like beat her. And so then I would go and do it way better. I know, that was me. But there was that time, I think Danielle knows about this, in the first movie when Tyler and I fall off the ledge. So I didn't do that one. But the stunt girl, so Tyler was going to do it, then he backed out at the last second. But the stunt man, when they fell off the balcony, she was supposed to fall on him, but he fell on her, and she broke her back. It was pretty nuts, and it was like the stunt coordinator's daughter. Like it was.
That's why you don't do your own stunts.
Yeah, that's why.
I always feel like someone needs a job. Let them make their money.
I know.
Hire someone to do
But
it.
they don't pay my guy's a stunt man. They don't pay stunt people the way that they should.
Right.
These people are injuring
Yeah.
their bodies.
Yeah.
And they hardly get anything. It's pretty fucked up.
I know, especially now.
Same with crew.
Yeah. I know.
So one final question from me, and we'll take some from the audience. Danielle, you ended up on the Connors.
Yeah, she did.
How did that come about?
Did. They randomly called me and called my agent and said, we want to bring her back, bring Molly back. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding? My Molly? Me? Really? That's cool. So I was supposed to do 3 episodes, then COVID, and they kept pushing dates and things started happening. I didn't know about the storyline. And then I was very nervous because I didn't have the greatest experience when I was younger. It was stressful. I think I'd never done a sitcom before, so I always felt like I was sort of setting up everyone else's jokes. I never felt like I did a good job or I was funny, or so I had a lot of anxiety about it. And then I was like, okay, I'll go back 30 years later and I'll redeem myself. And I had so much to do. I would get to work like over an hour early in the morning just to sit in my room and go over it because they changed the dialogue every night. But it's so similar, but they do it in a way where you're like, and they want it word for word. Word for word. Like if you can't say and when it should be a but. I mean, it's so gnarly. So I was really stressed out about it, about doing a good job. I had not done a sitcom since Roseanne. So I think I did Boy Meets World was the only one I did. So since I was 17, I hadn't been on like a live audience sort of 4-camera show. So and then I had a couple days there, and it was weird because they kept telling me, I was pissed off actually, because they kept telling me like, be vulnerable, be angry, be this, be that. And I was like, what? Doesn't really make sense for the character, like, okay. And I didn't know until the third day that Sarah Gilbert said to me, well, you know your backstory, right? I was like, my backstory? I mean, it's not like I didn't just come on, it's not the first time I'm doing Molly, but no, I don't know my backstory. And just like, oh, you have brain cancer.
Would have been nice to know.
Well, that just changes everything.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, that makes total sense now why you've been getting the notes that I've been getting, but nobody took the time to tell me. So I felt, again, really stupid on the show, like I had 30 years ago. So I was like, wow, they just threw me for a loop. Is someone trying to mess with me? I'm so confused what's going on right now. But I did it, and it went really well, and I thought I was going to come back again because at the end I'd give her the plane ticket. You know, I was like, oh my God, okay, all right, I have more, you know. And I had a good time doing it. Like I felt like, okay, I was enjoying myself. And I got some compliments from her too, which was nice because they're not handed out, you know, often. And then I didn't hear anything after. I was like, I wonder if I'm coming back. When I'm coming back, I wonder. I mean, I left it open, and then I was like, oh, they're on hiatus, and oh, not this episode, oh, not that episode. Nobody told me anything, and then I was like, oh, episode's airing, and I was doing press. And one of the outlets was like, oh, we're going to do a teaser and a post-mortem. And it was a double episode that night, and I was like, a post-mortem? What is, wait, what? And then so the publicity department from ABC was on the line connecting us, and I was like, wait, guys, I don't know what, does press know, like, what my character's situation is, or, and she was like, oh, yeah, so sorry, Danielle, so it's a double episode tonight, and in the second episode, Darlene goes over to your mom's house to tell her that she's gonna go to Hawaii with you, and your mom tells her that you've died in your sleep. I was like, okay, got it. No problem. And I did press for the day, and then that was pretty much it. And then I was like, should I post and give them publicity, or should I just not?
No.
And I was calling my girlfriends, because you guys knew how stressed out I was doing it. I was excited, but I was nervous, and it was the same shit like it was 30 years ago. It's just weird. And that show's so fucking depressing. How depressing is that show?
But I do love that blanket on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
I do love that blanket. I really want that blanket.
It's not the same without Roseanne. I love John Goodman. He's overqualified to be still stuck on that show. And Laurie Metcalf is the shit. I love her, and she's so fucking talented, and she should also not be stuck on that show. It's time to hang up that hat and go on to other things, I think.
Crazy.
But at least there's closure. Molly's dead.
But I agree.
Even in sitcoms, they kill me. Like, really? I don't know.
But it is so crazy. She's right. Like with TV, you don't have any freedom, man, with any words. Like if you're not on page, and usually the writer is there.
Yeah.
And they are very particular about. That's why I love doing movies and indie movies so much, because you can fucking
change it, rewrite it. I'm always like at cutting out shit.
But it just adds that anxiety when you go to like a film, a TV show. Yeah. It's like if it's not the word for word, they're gonna write you out of an episode. Like they will get rid of your ass. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have going on now before we get to the audience? Some of your projects, your podcast, all that.
So much
let us all know.
So much.
Scout, take it.
I don't know, man. I've got tons of stuff. I have like not stopped working since COVID.
Yes.
I've got a ton of new movies coming out, and Lifetime movies, Hallmark movies, Netflix, Amazon.
She played 3 characters at one time.
I did, man.
In one thing. 3 sisters. Can you imagine how hard that was?
3 sisters. I was so nuts.
I didn't talk to her for like 6 weeks.
I didn't talk to anyone,
no,
did I?
No.
Oh, that was brutal. That was a brutal shoot. We're gonna do a movie next year. I'm directing. I'm gonna direct next year. I'm so excited about that. It's my baby.
Better cast me.
It's in the genre
Or something.
Yeah, I will. It's in the genre, so I'm very excited about that. We started a podcast, Talk Scary to Me, which you can listen to. It's
New episodes dropped every Sunday.
every Sunday.
It's like Love Lines. It's like love, sex, and horror, and it's super naughty. And
Yeah,
fun.
that's growing. And then I just got done doing an HBO series in Hawaii, which was so fun, and it's just been announced, so hopefully it goes. Yeah, just a ton of stuff. I'm about to do a movie with Mekhi Phifer and Taryn Manning, and that's going to be fun. So, yeah, we'll see. Good stuff.
God, let's see. What have I been doing? Flesh, most recently, is the one that I wrapped. I brought in Tiffany Shepis and Serena Vincent into it.
Not me.
There was no part for you.
Not me.
No part for you. You want to play my mom?
Sure. Sure.
I mean, essentially, you already did.
Yeah, I did.
Lori.
Did that next.
And then the other character was like the drunk bachelor. Well, I know you love The Bachelorette, but like
do love
the
The
drunk
Bachelorette.
professor that was like moving out of the state. And that's Tiffany Shepis.
Yeah.
So there was nothing in there, but you'll be in any. I will always look out for you, girl. So that's called Flash. That's really good. That's, I think, one of my favorite characters I've done so far. She's
Yeah, you've been having so much fun doing that.
crazy.
Hell yeah.
She's crazy, funny, and really, really, really good emotional stuff. More like guttural emotional stuff. I think that I haven't done anything like that in a really long time, if ever, which was really nice and exhausting. And then, let's see, Felissa Rose and Dave and Tony Todd and Dee Wallace and I did a movie called Stream that we did last year in Pennsylvania. And then, what else have I done? A movie called Dr. Gift. I don't know.
I love that you remember the names.
know about that one.
Is that hard? I don't remember the names.
Don't blame me for that one. And then a movie called To Anne with Love with Mina Safari that I only have one scene in, so I don't know much about that one. What else? I think I'm forgetting something. Am I forgetting something?
I don't know, man. I remember my name.
I am about to do a movie called Natty Knox that I'm excited about in January with one of my favorite directors, Dwight Little, who directed Halloween 4, is bringing me back to work with him. So it's been a long time in the making, so I'm excited for that one. And then our movie we're doing, and then I'm going to do a movie called Roadkill in December, in like a week.
Nice.
In Florida, so that's really fun.
Oh, you're going to Florida?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to figure that out.
You want to come?
Podcast, yeah.
I'm only going for like 5 days. No, it's Panama City.
Oh, no, I don't want to go there. I was like, if it's Disneyland, yeah.
I'm maybe going to
let's go.
Orlando right after for just the weekend because Spooky Empire is doing a pop-up.
Oh, you're
a little
gonna
like
pop
dark
up?
Christmas kind of situation.
Oh, shit.
So I may go there for like 2 days.
Are you going to go to Disneyland?
No, not Florida during fucking COVID.
Can
and
we go to Disneyland?
Disneyland
Nobody
in
will go
California.
with me to
Disney
Disney
World. Sorry, I know, Steven, you're from Florida, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
I'll go
know.
by myself. Don't worry about it.
Holidays, COVID, Florida. Not so sure.
Yeah, maybe that's not a good idea.
All right, we have time for a couple questions. Who
Yeah,
has
sorry. We
questions?
talk a lot, man. I know. We do.
There we go, right over there.
I heard a rumor.
It's not true.
It's not true. We are.
Whatever it
if
is,
you've been
it's not
listening to
true.
our podcast,
I honestly haven't.
I'm not in Halloween anything.
no.
Not dies, kills, ends. No.
No.
You were going to come back.
No.
They should. I mean, I don't know why they don't.
No, not. Yeah, there's no Jamie in any of these. That'd be weird. I mean, maybe after these 3 are done, then
Have you watched the new
they'll
one?
revamp. No, have you?
No.
Oh, we
Maybe
need to
should go see
watch
that
it.
tonight. Is it still in theaters?
Yeah.
Is it?
Maybe we should go see that tonight.
If you have,
I'd rather go to the mall.
Okay.
if you have Peacock, it's on there.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Peacock is-
Oh yeah, don't pay.
Hey, Thanksgiving, come to my house. We can
Oh,
watch
yeah,
it.
let's watch
Oh, you
it.
know what? I have it in my trailer.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's do that. Okay, we'll watch
I have kids. I have Apple TV. I'm trying to get her to come camping with me this weekend when we get back on Monday anyway.
Okay.
All right, anyone else? Right up front here.
Hi.
I love
Oh,
your shirt,
thanks.
by the way. That's so my
Yeah, I was
murder
gonna
shows and
say,
comfy
I was
clothes.
like,
That's the
you
story
guys-
of my life.
You guys vibe so well with each other. You guys a couple?
Yeah, these are my brothers.
Oh shit.
Are you gonna ask her if she's pregnant next?
Okay, or that.
Oh my God, your brothers are blushing right now.
Okay, you guys are just related then, okay? Do you remember it? Do you remember it after that?
No, you said you're directing, and
Yes.
Danielle, you said that there's
Oh yes, I'm directing too.
Yes.
Cast Scout.
guys casting in Pittsburgh by chance?
Oh. I mean, I'm going to look all over, man.
Yeah.
There's no reason to not I like to give people chances, and I feel like I see the same people in all the movies. It's just the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Open casting for sure.
Yeah, sure. We're always open to it.
Yeah.
Only one.
Oh, there's
What
like
time
five.
is
Oh,
it?
dude, there's everybody's in here.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's out there.
Nobody's out there.
Why are we going out
Everybody's
there?
here. We'll just answer the questions.
I wanted to ask, one of the things I hear about a lot of these movies that Rob Zombie has done is people complain about like the dialogue or it being too over the top or too crude. But it's weird when I saw the Halloween movies. I mean, I was a teenager. I knew a lot of girls that would talk, about sex in a crude way. I think it was actually kind of more realistic in some ways.
Have you listened to our podcast?
You know what's funny is that
This is how
Rob,
females talk, man.
Rob's getting blamed for that stuff when it's really the actors that are making that shit up.
Yeah.
It's not his writing, it's us.
Women aren't angels, you know. We're not like this. we can talk too, man. It's so interesting. Like I think like people think that women what we talk about in private, it's probably worse than what guys talk about.
I think Rob just gives you the freedom to be you, and you are you.
Yeah.
And then he just takes the rap for it.
Most definitely.
Part of the movies, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it's real.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this Justice for Jamie movement that people are like trying to get the next Halloween trilogy?
It's called Justice for Jamie?
Oh my God, there's a whole thing.
Wow, there is?
Can I sign this? Is it can we sign it?
Really?
Could be another trilogy that's you and you get to shine out.
Fuck yeah.
I mean,
can I
it's-
direct that?
Yes, go for
Can
it.
we just do it?
Sure.
Can we just do it?
Sure.
Why don't we just make it indie?
I don't know where they would go after this next movie. The only place they could realistically go if they were to continue the franchise is to bring Jamie back. Otherwise, I don't know what they would do with it. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll figure something out. But with Jamie Lee gone, I'm assuming she's going to not do these forever. I'm kind of the next in line, I think, if they wanted to continue with the story. But sometimes they don't know what they're doing. So I would love to see where Jamie is as an adult. And I think that they could continue the story with it the way that it is. I mean, she was adopted, she thinks her mom was in a car accident and died. Maybe she wasn't. She was just in hiding and she had a whole other family that Jamie didn't know about. And then I'm on the hunt to find her. So, and then I had like visions and all kinds of stuff that they can incorporate. So I've thought about it a little bit. I would totally do it. I think it'd be really interesting as a series, to be honest. That's kind of been the new thing. So I don't know. You guys just have to keep on them.
They'll listen.
They will. I think
they will.
I mean, I've talked to Malakot and been like, this is like the one question I get more than anything. And he's just like, yeah, we've talked about it. And then that's kind of as far as it goes. So you never know. But you never know. Never say never. I'm not going to come back as another character, though. Like, that would just be weird.
In the head?
Yeah, what does that level of screaming, particularly in part 2, do to your vocal cords? And did you have to have any kind of like vocal rehab after doing this movie?
Vocal rehab. I wish that was a thing. That would have been
Yes,
awesome.
right? No.
It's so weird. I mean, obviously, like having a hoarse voice and all that kind of stuff, but it didn't really bother.
No.
Maybe it's just in our nature.
I think it is.
I don't know.
It's true.
I think women just are able to like. I didn't know that. I love my scream. I
You have
never
great
thought
scream.
that would be something I would say. But
Yeah.
I I don't know if you like yours.
It's like a thumbprint.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
they're all really, really different.
Yeah.
I just did this movie Flesh Tiffany Shepard was in, and I was in the trailer, and I heard this scream, and I was so far away, and I was like, whoa, what was that? I was like, is that Tiffany? She's one of my best girlfriends. I'd never heard her scream before. I'd never heard another person really scream before. Even you, I've never heard you scream in person before.
No.
So it's cool to see, like, not right now. Don't offer
Not with
that.
your kids? Are you kidding me? I was in your backyard screaming with your
Oh
kids.
yeah, that'd be fun. But it's cool. It's like seeing a secret part of your friend, you know. And they're all really different and original. And I was like, Tiffany, your scream's different than mine. Yours is like from your throat. Mine's from like the bowels of my existence. And she was like, oh, cool. Is that a good thing or not? I was like, I don't know. It's just a different vibe. So we don't really get like. I mean, if we're doing it a lot, obviously you're going to feel it, but I think we're okay.
Yeah, a lot of warm water, honey, tea, a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A joint.
Yeah, a joint. Fuck no, that would make me like.
after. An edible.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
That's so nice. One person.
Oh, yes. Is that your dad with you?
Yes.
Oh. Amazing.
Sorry, Dad. Welcome to horror conventions.
Danielle, in H2O, did it bother you?
Yes. Yes.
College as Lori's daughter?
You know, it didn't bother me as much then as it does now.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really bother me because that character is so boring in the new one. I mean, her daughter's so vanilla, and it just wouldn't be me if that were me doing it. And I don't get me wrong, I love her as an actress. She's phenomenal. I didn't love the way they wrote that character.
Yeah, she does seem very.
She's vanilla, yeah. But I got Josh Hartnett. I was like, he's hot. He's a star at the time. Like, I totally get it. I hadn't worked. I mean, it made sense. It was what it was. But when she had a daughter, I started to get a little bit jealous, I think. But she's boring, so it's okay.
Anyone else?
I really like the podcast so far, so do you have any plans of bringing any guests or doing anything else with it?
I mean, we would love to. The problem is our schedules are so crazy that we really want the guests to be you guys.
Yeah.
You know, that to me is more important. Like bonding with you and having it be really fan interactive is way more important than bringing on some celebrity that you've heard talk about whatever on some other, podcast or YouTube thing. If we could, sure, if that works out, but it's hard to schedule, and then people are flaky, and it's like a whole thing. So we've got such a great rapport with each other anyway that, the idea is like a la Love Lines was really what started it, and we love to talk about all sorts of things, not necessarily horror. And I think it's just nice to have like a little bit of a break in that world sometimes, but still incorporate our stories and things like that. But have you guys get to know a different side of us. And I think that's why we have such great fan base, because we've always been really real and authentic and honest about things, I'm hoping. Relatable. I love Us Weekly, and then my favorite section is Stars. They're just like us. Like, I want to see how they pump gas. Like, and like how when they go get coffee, because you're like, oh, okay, well, they're not all done red carpet BS. It's like they're normal people. We have the same problems and shit that you guys do. So I think that was really our goal. So it was really more that than like an interview show.
Yeah, and we're still trying to figure it out, like we're still like, it's the beginning stages. It's like a newborn baby right now. So we're trying to see, and like always feedback is like 100%, to like know kind of where we can go, what you guys kind of like more, and blah, 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 all that vibe. But it is pretty funny because a couple of my girlfriends have been listening to the podcast, like Lita Ford. She asked, she was like, I'll come on. So maybe we'll sprinkle it on like in there. It would be kind of interesting. I would love to know like Lita Ford's like sex story.
Me too.
Like fuck yeah, man. Like and Bill Mosley commented me too. He was like, yeah, I'll come on your blog. I was like,
see, the thing that would be great is like there's no boundaries with our friends in the room. So we would find out about all kinds of things that they've never talked about with anybody else, that they would be open to talk to with us.
Yeah.
Like I found out Kane lost his virginity at a whorehouse. Did you guys know that?
what the fuck?
Did you know that?
I don't know if anybody knew that, Danielle.
I did, yeah. Well, he said it on my show commentary. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, at the Bunny Ranch, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wait.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes. I was like, are you being serious?
I did a movie about the Bunny Ranch where I played a brothel. I played a girl.
Well,
my
you were
God.
the inspiration.
Hilarious. I knew it.
I was like, holy shit. But like, I mean, if it wasn't Kane and I chilling having a margarita in my room with
Yeah, you
nobody
would've
there, like, who
known.
knows if he would have? He said, "You've never heard that story, Dee?" I said, "No, who would have told me that
Oh
story?"
my God, that is crazy.
So crazy, but I love that. There's no boundaries. It's really nice and fun.
Yeah, it is.
And don't you guys get tired of hearing the same shit? Like, you get tired of hearing the same interviews, asking the same questions. I would much rather know, like, stuff that people aren't talking about. So you get to really get to know us.
Do you have blood on your shoes?
Yeah, maybe.
I was like, is that like fake blood on your shoes?
That's fake blood on my shoes. What else is new?
That's funny. It's like, I know that pattern.
This is from one of our photo shoots, I think.
Is that the photo shoot?
Yeah, I think so. Because I wear these with, yeah, I think so. Oh, who knows, girl? I got fake blood everywhere.
Well, again, thank you for taking time to talk to us. It's been
Sure.
a
Hope
great
you guys
time.
had fun.
Put your hands together for Danielle and Scott.